Hi Flosstube, welcome back if you are a returning viewer. My name is Sofia and I am here today to do a whip parade for you. So a whip parade is a work in progress parade where Flosstubers once or twice a year bring out every single project that they are working on and show them. So next to me I have a huge pile projects that I am working on and I would like to share them with you. I do have some notes over to the side, that's why I'm looking over there so I don't forget anything. But yeah, I am going to show some of the finishes that I have had the last 1.5 years, because it has been 1.5 years since my last Flosstube, and because it was that long ago, I thought it would be a good idea to do a short reintroduction of myself. So, like I said, my name is Sofia. I am a Swede living in Norway, and I have a dog and a husband that I live with. I have 4 main hobbies. I do have more, but 4 main ones. It is cross stitch, which is why I have this Flosstube. I knit, I play video games, and I read books. Yeah, if you are interested in anything more about me, just leave me a comment and I will probably answer it, as long as it's nothing too personal. With regards of my stitching, I am mostly a full coverage stitcher. I used to stitch a lot of minis, like smaller projects. However, 1 or 2 years ago, my husband gave me a Lowry stand, Q-snaps, all those things in a birthday present. And after that, it kind of opened like the doors for me, because before that I was stitching in hand, and when you stitch in hand, you can't really have, like it is, you can have, but it's harder to have large projects with small counts and a lot of confetti. It is easier to have larger counts with more block stitch and not that heavy, like smaller, because you're holding it. But because I got a Lowry stand, it changed my taste in stitching, and that is also reflected in my whips. So it will be a mixture of kits that are non-full coverage with larger counts and smaller like projects. It will be smaller full coverage and large full coverage, and also full coverage with a lot of confetti. Yes, I will try to remember which project is stitched on what counts and what type of stitch, because I have been dabbing a little bit into half crosses, not 10 stitch but half crosses. But if I forget anything, just leave me a comment and I will find out where I got the design, what fabric I'm stitching on, all of that things. Not a problem at all, but I can't ensure that I am remembering everything to say. Also, I am going to share 3 types of numbers with you. I'm going to share how many stitches I have stitched, how many stitches that are left, and how many percentages that I have done. It is because I would like to document where I was, and when I pick out pieces to, you know, focus on, sort of, I rarely do, but when I do, I like to know how many stitches that are left, not how many stitches it is in total. So that's why. Also, in the app that I'm using for journaling, XS Journal. It is very easy to get those numbers up, and it is also sorted in alphabetical order, which is why my projects are lying here in alphabetical order. And yeah, two more things before I get started with some finishes. It is really windy outside, like really windy, and if you can hear like the wind or sounds from the outside, I apologize. There is nothing I can do. The same with the sun. It is partly clouded, so I can't do anything with that. I've tried to mitigate the light with having other lights on in my living area, just to, you know, reduce the amount of like going in and out of dark and light, basically. And the second thing is, I'm going to leave out most of the life stuff and personal stuff to the very end of this video. However, I feel that it is necessary for me to let you know that I am kind of newly operated, which means that if I sound weird and if I look weird and, you know, move weirdly in my face, that is why, and everything is fine. It just, I can't do anything about it. That's just, yeah, basically. But yeah, and it is probably why I will need some breaks, and you know, why, in general, why in this video at least. That said, let's begin with some finishes and some stitching, which is why you are here. So let's start with a finish that I had. That is the Mermaid Stitch Along from Bella Filipina. And it is on everything called for, with the called for fabric, the called for flosses, called for beads, everything. And if you are very familiar with this pattern, you might see that I have omitted some words, because it is supposed to say spring, summer, winter, autumn, and I did not know which language was most suited to me, because as I said, I am Swedish. I speak Swedish with my husband, but I live in Norway and I speak Norwegian with everyone else around me at the moment, but the shirting was in English. So which language do I pick? And I picked none. So that's is omitted from the pattern. I also have done some minor changes, like this corner was missing some beads in relation to all the other corners. And I believe one of the flowers in here had 3 petals and not 4, and every other mermaid have 4 petals. Also this was not attached, so I attached it. Like minor things is changed on this, but overall it is as shirted. So there we go. This is stitched 2/1 and 1/1 on 28 count even weave, and that just means how many strands of floss I have been using over how many squares in the fabric. So 1/1 means that I have used 1 strand of floss over 1 square or 4 holes in the fabric, and 2/2 means that I have used 2 strands of floss over 2 squares in the fabric, or 9 holes. If I was stitching something 1/2, that means I've used 1 strand of floss over 2 squares in the fabric, or 9 holes in the fabric. So as you can see, it's 1/1 skin, but everything else is 2/2. So There we go. Next one is Hollow Knight and Quirrell. This is a pattern I got from Etsy. I can look it up if you want to know. This is stitch 2/1 on 18 counts. And with the counts, 18 count means that there are 18 holes on 1 inch. 28 count means there are 28 holes in 1 inch. 14 count, 14 holes in 1 inch. So you get the idea. The larger the number, the smaller the square is. Yes. Losing things here. I have also finished totes. This is a free pattern. Again, I will look it up. Or actually, I do believe that I have some whips from this person. So it will come up later where I got it from. Hang on 2 seconds. Flosstube itchy nose is really a thing, and also a reason why I think it is a good idea to bring out everything and air everything out, because even though they are lying in project bags and safely, it still gets dusty and it still gets like, you need to air your projects, in my opinion. Anyway, let's continue. I've completed a mermaid, again from the same pattern place, and I will say later where it's from. I just can't remember. I know it is in one of those papers that I have beside me. I just can't remember it on the top of my head. Luffy. These are all on 18 counts, 2/1 CXC, which is a different type of floss to DMC, which is the normal floss. Next one is a kit from Atelier Margareta, and this was a collaboration that they did with Permanent of Copenhagen. It is stitched on 14 count, and everything came with the kit. The frame, the accessories, floss, the fabric, the whole lot. So there we go. This is called Dream Garden, is the translation of it. Drömträdgården. Eller Drömmehagen. Yeah, there we go. And I am not a fully finisher, as you can see. That one was in a frame because it came with a frame. Yeah. Let's get them there. This one is also a collaboration from Atelier Margareta and Permanent of Copenhagen. It is also stitched on 14 count. Everything came with a kit. The skis, is it called a garland? I don't know. This came with a kit. This is called Vinterport, which is Winter Gate. There we go. 14 count, as the pattern told me to stitch it. Okay, now we're getting into the fun finishes. Dragon, Dance of Lake Depths. This is stitched on 18 count using DMC 2/1, and it took me, like, I stitched everything in some months. It went really fast to stitch the crosses, and then I was dumb and didn't do the back stitch as I went. So I had all the back stitch to the end, and oh my god, it was a week at least with only back stitch on this. It took forever, and that was the share doing that, but it looks really good. Like, look at that, However, I am never ever stitching this again, only because of the backstitch. So if you're stitching this, do yourself a favor, do the backstitch as you finish areas, because that was a lot. And speaking of a lot, long dog samplers, you belong to me. This is stitched using 3808 or 3808 is the color that I have stitched this in, and it is stitched 2/1 on 18 count. I have also used like one of the DNC metallics, as you can see, with some parts. All the insects are in that bronze DNC. And this one my mother has actually said that she wants, so that's really nice. So she's going to get that from me. It's kind of unusual for my family to say they want something that I've stitched, so that's really nice. And of course she's getting it. And finally, of the finishes that I currently have at home and remembered to bring out, and that I think are from the last 1.5 years, my absolute favorite piece throughout the time, like there is no competition of any piece getting even close to this one, because this is my dog. And it is a piece that I have charted myself, and I love it. This is the only piece that is normally in a frame in my house. However, there was so much glare that I could not have it in a frame. But this is Bella. This over here is Fjellheisen in Tromsø, and you can kind of see Tromsdalstind in the background. But yeah, I love this piece naturally because I love my dog a lot. Yeah. Beautiful, love it. It was stitched on 20 counts, 2/1 using DMC. Yeah, that was all the finishes, all the administrative stuff. Let's get on with all the whips. Like I said before, I do have my notes to the side. I will share some numbers, and because I have so many whips, I will kind of go through them quite rapidly. So if there is something that you want to know that I haven't said, just let me know and I will answer you in the comments. All right, again, that was my show. The first one, a cheeky escape from Lucy Peter Way, mini a cheeky escape from Lucy Peter Way. This was a pattern on Heaven and Earth Designs. They don't no longer have Lucy Peter Way, and yeah. So this one I have stitched 1028 stitches. I have 104,277 stitches left. This is at 1%. Like I said, I do have a dog, and she is a black Labrador, and her fur is everywhere. But I don't mind. I just brush them off before I stitch them in, and I remove every single hair from my pieces. And yeah, I also do not iron until they are complete, if I iron. But yeah, that was a cheeky escape, mini cheeky escape. I think I will just have to have this one in my lap with how things are set up here. Next one is African Woman. This is a kit from Lenart. she is stitched 2 over 1 and 1 over 1, no, 2 over 2 or 1 over 2 on 28 count printed fabric. I have done, sorry, I don't know how much I have done, but I know that I have 31,314 stitches left. So here is this, and if I go zoom in a bit, there you go. She is gorgeous, really, really beautiful. Love her. Next one is All is Bright. This one I am going to restart. This is a pattern from Shorting Creations, and it is James Meager that has done the artwork. So there we go. There is also a companion piece to this one that I also own the pattern for, but I haven't started it yet. And like I said, this one is going to be a restart. But this is stitched 1 over 1 on 28 count, 25 count, and I didn't like it, so I'm going to restart this. There we go. This is 401 stitches, and I would have had 191,549 stitches left, and this is 0.2%. Next one is Animal Crossing Polly Pocket, the Polly Pocket Animal Crossing. It is from Glitch Stitch AU on Etsy. This is how it's going to look when it is finished. And I am stitching this 2 over 2 on 32 count. Yes, 32 count. Opalescent fabric. And this is how far I have gotten. This is 2,039 stitches, and I have 36,000 stitch. Let's restart that. And I have 36,235 stitches left. This is 5.3% complete. So there we go. Next one is Appointment with the Maker. It's a mini. It is from Gothic Alchemy. Is the pattern, the artist. The pattern is from Heaven and Earth Designs. I no longer buy from that site. I have opinions. Let's just put it that way. So I no longer buy from them. But this is the mini Appointment with the Maker. It's stitched 2 over 1 on 18 count using CXC floss. This is 258 stitches, and I have 75,467 stitches left. This is 0.3%, and it is all 310. There we go. The next one is Autumn in the Valley. It is going to look like this. When it is done, it is from an Etsy shop. Can't remember the name. I think it is Fancy Fox Glove or Fancy Fox, something like that, on Etsy. If you are interested, I will let you know, but it is a Stardew Valley inspired pattern. I do have the entire series. Of course, the winter one, which is on the same fabric, is kind of far away. Let's see. There we go. Here is the picture of the winter one because they are on the same fabric. So there we go. Again, Stardew Valley inspired pattern. There we go. And the autumn one, which is this one, I have stitched 707 stitches out of, and I have 12,132 stitches left. This is 5.5% complete. And the winter one, I believe this was 42 stitches, and I have 12,003 because this is on W, right? This one, yeah, 42 stitches, and I have 12,758 stitches left, which is 0.3% complete. And that is because I started stitching extreme cross country with all 4 of the seasons. So as you can see, I have stitched the same color on both of them. Now I have gotten every single color that I need for all of the 4 seasons, so I no longer stitch that way. But in the beginning it was that I had some of the colors and not all of the colors, and it was easy for me to, you know, stitch extreme cross country across every single project. I did it for one color, a half color. Yeah, anyway, next one is Autumn Montage. This is a pattern from Steve Jana. It is created by Charting Pain-Free Crafts. Pain-Free Crafts, sorry. This is how it's going to look when it is done. And I am actually going to restart this. So this is where it is right now. This is 3,218 stitches, and I have 145,210 stitches still to complete, and this is 2.2%. However, I'm going to change this to 22 count, 2/1 instead of 18 count, because this is rather large and I have very small margins. I believe it's like an inch, 2.5 centimeters. So I'm going to restart that one. The next one is Baby Metroid. This is 136 stitches, and that means that I have 4,685 stitches left. Let's see, it's this one. And here we go. This is from words today are really hard, but Cross Stitch Quest is the place where I got all the free patterns from before as well. So here we go. And here is where I am. There we go. So a very small start. Like that. The next one I have, it's kind of weird because I know I have started this and I know like things about it, but I can't find a project. So, but I have registered that I have stitched on it, but the project is gone. It's Blu-ray, and because I don't have the project to show, I didn't bring the picture, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. But I did have a pattern that I don't know where it is, basically. Anyway, the next one, because it is registered at Bomb Battlefield, but it is all of the world portraits in Mario 64, so hence why it is right now. Here we go, it's 10 portraits. I have finished Cool Mountain, Jolly Roger Bay, Lethal Lavaland, Tiny Huge Island. This is going to be Peach and Bowser. And if you stitch these like I am stitching, because these are 10 different patterns, but if you're going to stitch them like I am, it is important that Peach and Bowser are on the same, because they are 1 stitch shorter than every other portrait. So as you can see, like the frames match up here, but if Peach was here, then it would be like moved one. So that's why those two need to be. But this is going to be Bomb Battlefield, Wet Dryland, no, Warmth Fortress, Wet Dryland, and Tall Mountain, of course. So there we go. And also on this fabric is the From software, like the start, the save places. So the lamp, the bonfire, the lamp, going to be the sculpture's idol, and the grace, site of grace, of course. Let's see if I can find that, because I have a picture of it. And I'm not going to share the numbers for those, because those are actually both with the Mario one and the one. Here we go. These ones. These are 4 different patterns, so I don't have correct numbers on them. So that's why. Hang on. Sorry about that. Needed to get some water. It is a lot of talking in a Flosstube that nobody tells you about, but yeah, needs to be on the side. The next one is Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is going to be looking like this. It is from Needle Mindelay on Etsy. Go. It is so windy outside. Yeah, anyway. Here we go. 2/1 on 18 count using CXC. So that is link. The next one is Candylicious, Mini Candylicious. It is artwork by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Designs. Again, not buying anything new from them. But there we go. And here is an example of me changing things, because parking. So what I do is that I stitch as far as I am comfortable with, and when I don't want to count anymore, or I don't have a place to like anchor my floss, I park it instead. But this is the top left corner. Every full coverage that I have is started in top left, I believe. Some, like one perhaps, is stitched from the middle, but all the others are top left. There we go. Candylicious. Breath of the Wild, sorry. Breath of the Wild was 5,298 stitches completed, and I have 26,302 stitches remaining. I am at 16.8%. And Candylicious was 658 stitches, and I have 74,742 stitches left, which is 0.1%. The next one is Central Park in the Fall, and you can get this on a pattern. However, this is a kit that I have, and I can't remember which company has done the kit, but I have the kits. So, and they had the rights for this image. So there we go. That is Central Park in Fall. It is artwork by Thomas Kincaid. And this is how far I am on that. It is 2,448 stitches complete, and I have 47,346 stitches left. That is 4.9% complete. So, and this here is the bridge that it is the water under the bridge, or it is the bridge, some of it, can't remember. Yeah, it is the bridge. So, this one I'm not sure of if I'm going to finish, because I honestly can't, like, this looks like nothing to me, and yeah, sure, top left corner is supposed to be like nothing. However, I can't see the skyscraper, like nothing. I am going to stitch more in it just to make sure that like there isn't any details, but to me this kit has no details so far, but we shall see. The next one is Cheeky, and Cheeky is this, and it is from Being Free Crafts, I believe. Shirt and Creation, sorry. And for some reason I haven't written the artist name, but here is where I am. This is 2/1 full cross on 28 count fabric. Again, top left corner, so it is the lamp up there, as you can see. And this is 3,822 stitches, and I have 176,803 stitches left, which is 2.1% complete. The next one is Mini Childhood Sweethearts. This is my husband's absolute favorite piece now that Bella is done. And this is what it's going to look like. This is a mini, and it is Jim Warren that is the artist. So that one. And I am trying to stitch on it, but this is confetti, and I haven't gone back to it, let's say, but I'm trying. But this has 3,427 stitches, and it is 79,123 stitches left, and this is 4.2% complete. So there we go. 18 count, 2/1 CXC floss. The next one is Christmas Town, Mini Christmas Town. It is from Philip Straub, I believe. Philip Straub. This is how it's going to look. It's finished. I have stitched 19,468 stitches, and I have 48,032 stitches remaining, which means that I have completed 28.8%. See if I go like that, perhaps. 2/1 CXC on 18 counts. There we go. I feel like I'm looking down a lot, I'm so sorry. This one is Mini Cozy Winter Evening. It is Uliana Babenko. Yeah, Uliana Babenko. This is how it's going to look when it's finished. And here is where I am. This is 25 count, 2/1 tenth or half cross. It is not 10 stitch. It has to do with how you drag the floss on the back of it. So I'm stitching half crosses and not 10 stitches, because 10 stitches you kind of wrap it around, and I'm like, my backs are, can I show you, like it is straight here on the back, which means that this is a half cross. If it was a tent, it would have been like woven in a different way. So that's the difference. But anyway, this one is 1,396 stitches. I have 77,904 still to complete, and it is 1.8% done. The next one, here I have the information about this one. So yeah, anyway, mini dandelion. This is by Ash Evans. This is how it's going to look when it is finished. I think this is a really, really cute fox. So yeah, and I have done this. I got bored of doing the background, so I stitched down to his face. This is 2/1 full cross. Let's see, I have stitched 5,579 stitches. I have 78,921 still to do. This is at 6.6% complete. And I am kind of going faster through things, and like I said, we are still in we have just reached D in the alphabet, and I have 3 pages and we are like half a page, so I need to kind of move it along. Sorry. So I love all my projects, mostly. Anyway, next one is Midyear Creek. It is Donna Gelsinger. It is kind of a popular piece. It looks really, really nice. So I understand completely why it's popular. I am here on it. This is 7,847 stitches. I have 70,153 to go, and this is 10.1%. So there we go. That was my first full coverage project that I kitted up myself, and I hope that I have enough floss for it. I did kit it up for 14 count, so I should have enough, because that is 18 count 2/1 with DMC. The next one is Dragon Bone Underwater. It is from Contemporary X Stitch, cross stitch. This is what it's going to look like. This was a birthday gift from my mother that she kitted up, and I did start it on 22 count 1/1. Kind of felt that, yeah, that is going to take quite some time, so I changed it to 28 count 2/1 half cross, and this is 3,721 stitches, and I have, lo and behold, 254,879 stitches left, and that is 1.4% complete. And I want to have this done until the next, not my next birthday, but the next even birthday. So yeah, I have kind of a schedule for this one, but it is confetti, and I don't like this. This fabric is too flimsy for me. Like, it is too soft for me, and yeah, it takes a long time for me to stitch this. But anyway, I want to have it done before I turn the next number that ends with 0. And if you say 50 on that, I'm a bit sad. But anyway, next one is Dragon Dance. No, it's not. It is Mini Dream Dance Precipice. It is by Stephanie Puy-Munlo. There we go. Absolutely beautiful artwork. Like, every thing I own. Again, love all of my projects, almost all of my projects. Here is where I am on that one. I can go like this. This one is I have stitched 7,568 stitches, and I have 66,457 stitches left. This is 10%. No idea what I was showing, but I hope you get an idea. This is 2/1 full cross on 18 count. Yeah. The next one is Evolutions Cafe. This is Glitch Stitch AU. So here we go. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished. I am doing this extreme cross country, one color at a time, starting with black or 310. This is 2/1 on 18 counts. This is 2,151 stitches, and I have 13,011 stitches left. This is 14.2%. Okay. The next one is Eo's Honey. And the reason why I'm reacting like this is because Eeyore is my favorite Winnie the Pooh character. It is the last of the characters that I have left to stitch, and I failed. I miscounted. So he is one stitch short, like entire here. And in a normal cross stitch, that wouldn't matter. You could just add a stitch. However, these patterns are not normal patterns. They have partial stitches. So his back, like entire way here, is 3/4 stitches and quarter stitches in the end. And I'm not frogging, and I don't know what I'm going to do, and I am not in the mood to do all of those fractionals again on 18 count. Ida. Really. So, Eeyore is the closest I have to an UFO, which is an unfinished object. An object that you have no plans on finishing at all. And some of them, like some, throw them away. Others keep them and just have them and pick them up another time. I am one of those. But that is Eo's Honey. And if you're wondering how it's going to look, that is how it's going to look when it's done. And I have stitched like every other of these. So. He was the last one. He is my favorite, and I failed miserably on him. That's okay, but he has 1,436 stitches left, and that is before I have frogged in the pattern. So add 30 or something stitches. The next one is the largest pattern that I have started so far. This is Egyptian Queen of the Leopards, Max Collar. It is by John Patrick Krasny. This is what it's going to look like. And even though she isn't a super size, she's just Max Collar, but even though I have stitched 2,745 stitches on her, and I still have 421,005 stitches left. I am at 0.6% complete. Now, here we are. I started in the corner. I got kind of bored with all the browns and all the confetti, So I moved to an area where there weren't so much confetti. This is 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch using CXC. No tent, sorry, half cross. But yeah, there we go. Top left corner, of course. The next one is Mini Endurance. It's by Tom Allen. There we go. This is what it's going to look like. And I am stitching this 2/2 on 32 count. One part breadth, of course. There we go. So you can see it's kind of says marathon. This one isn't full coverage. That's why it is on a dyed fabric. It is a, I think it is an even weave. If you want to know the colorway and everything, I can find it for you. But there we go. And this one is I have stitched 3,786 stitches and I have 54,578 stitches left. This is at 6.5% complete. I need to drink some water. Hang on. Sorry about that. You talk so much that it's kind of easy to get a dry throat. Anyway, the next one is European Town, I believe it's something like that. Anyway, it is a fake printed kit, as you can see, and so I only show this in like whip rates, I believe, because if I work on this, which is very, very rare, I don't want to like say, oh, go buy this. Like, I don't want people to buy this because it's fake and you should buy the real kit. But this one I have finished, like, well, it is easier to see on the back on these. So I've stitched that, essentially. So yeah, this is 14 count. And I have no idea how much I've stitched and I have no idea how much I have left. Apart from this being 170 centimeters long, which is like, let's see, oh, it's this way, but yeah, you know, it is kind of long. Can I get this to stay? I managed to fold it. The next one is Fairy Book, Mini Fairy Book. Is by artwork by Nadia Strelkina. And this is how it's going to look when it is finished. And hang on. Professional Flosstube at work. So there we go. This is where I have gotten. This is 2,693 stitches and I have 78,057 stitches left, and that is 3.3% complete. And as you can see, also kind of what's happening is that I have gone from cross country a lot to trying to finish an area with all of the confetti and everything, instead of just doing the blocks first and then coming back and doing the rest. But that was the first page out of 3. So I hope the next doesn't take me 2 hours, because I will not have a voice if this takes 2 more hours. But anyway, next one is Forest Deer. It's a kit from R2O I have 12,024 stitches left on this one. It is 14 count. And here is where I am on that. There we go. The next one is a Rayolis kit. It's called Free Flight. This is what it is going to look like when it is finished. And this is what I have done on it. And because this is full coverage, I can say that I have stitched 1,855 stitches. And I have 58,865 stitches left. This is 3.1%. And it is on 14 count Aida. We call it Aida in Swedish and Norwegian, and not Ada anyway. This is Mario Galaxy. I should show you how it's going to look first. This is how it's going to look first, which I think this is kind of funny because this is called Mario Galaxy. It is from Needle Mind Layer on Etsy. However, this is not a game Mario Galaxy because that is another game. This is Mario Odyssey, but it is Mario Odyssey in a galaxy. So the title of this project is kind of weird. Anyway, here is what it's going to look like. This is where I am, and this is 9,668 stitches. And I have 17,132 stitches left. This is 36.1% complete. 18 count Aida 2/1 full cross. The next one is the one I am currently working on, and that is why it is in a Q-snap. This is Gardener's Paradise, Mini Gardener's Paradise. It is Donna Gelsinger. This is how it's going to look when it is finished. I am in the top left corner. So there we go. And here is where I am. Let's see. And this one I have stitched 2,748 stitches, and I have 75,252 stitches left, and I am at 3.5% complete. And as you can see, I'm trying to like fill in more than I'm trying to go all over. So yeah, this one I need to put on a different place. Sorry, excuse me. The next one is Glowing Dreams. That is 2/1 on 18 count. The next one is Selena Finish and Glowing Dreams. There we go. And it is also on 18 count 2/1. This is, I have stitched 7,075 stitches on it. I'll show you her face a bit more. And I have 74,795 stitches left, and that is 6.4% complete. The next one is Golfer. It is Light Unicorn Designs on Etsy. And here we go with that. This is how it's going to look. Show that first. It is a printed fabric, which means that it's only color on one side. And this really is lime green. Like it's really, really, really green fabric. It's yellowy green. Here we go. And because in the pattern it is like a white background, I think it's like 10,000 stitches of white, I have just scratched those. I'm not stitching that. So I know it's 3,432 stitches left on this. The next one is Minnie Got a Secret. This is by Chris Ortega. There you go. She is my husband's least favorite project because he hates spiders. And this project has a lot of spiders on it. And she's not popular. But I like her. There you go. 2/1 full cross, 18 count. This is 444 stitches. I have 74,956 stitches left, and this is 0.6%. The next one is Griddleby's Pub. This is Cross Stitch Quest. This is a free pattern. There you go. It is from the complete blank Undertale. Yeah. This is 2/110, 2/1 full cross on 18 count white Ada, and as you can see, it's not really that interesting. It's just a block of the same brown color, and that block and that row is 1,272 stitches, which means that I have 75,528 stitches left, and that is 1.7%. The next one is Guardian of Treasure. It is a kit by Momentos Magicos. This is what it's going to look like. It is stitched on 14 count white Ada, and this is where I am on it. So this is the top, and I've come all the way down to the bottom and all the way to like that side of the pattern. I believe this is like 1 or 2 stitches from the edge on that side, and I have 16,077 stitches left on this. The next one is Guinevere Had Green Eyes mini. Go. It is Jasmine Beckett Griffith has done the artwork, and I started this and I was not happy with the color in the background because it doesn't look like the color in the artwork. So yeah, this is 264 stitches, and I have 84,236 stitches left. This is 0.3%. So 18 count, 2/1. I believe this is 2 colors, 1 or 2, no, it's 1 color, but it just didn't feel right. Like if you compare that color with the color it's showing in the mock-up on Pattern Keeper, it's nothing alike. And the color in Pattern Keeper is very much like this color in the picture, but this and that is very far apart. Let's see if I can show you. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but it, like, this is yellow green and this is white green or blue green. So I don't know what to do. Where was I? Yeah, sorry. Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot. Or David Suchet as Poirot. And this is from, I'm not going to pronounce that. If you're interested, I can write it to you. So it's an Etsy shop. Go. 2/1 full cross on 18 count. This is 2,734 stitches and I have 23,800 and 16 stitches left. This is 10.3% complete. There we go. And that TV show and those books, I love them. Great TV show, and he is such a good actor. I absolutely love that show. Highly recommend, even though it's now it has some years on it, but it holds up. The next one is Holiday Magic. It's from Laura Prindle. Mini Holiday Magic. This is what it's going to look like. And it is 5,141 stitches that I have completed, which means that I have 71,884 stitches left. So here we go. I started doing the frame first, got bored, started doing some of the corner, got bored, started in on the back of the horse, got bored, haven't picked it up since. The next one is hedgehog tablecloth. Don't believe I have any pictures of it, but it's a Lanart kit and it's going to be a tablecloth. It's done. So it's going to be some more leaves and some mushroom, and it's going to go up, and it's going to be like that on the other side. So this is 32 count coffee tea dyed linen, I believe. And yeah, such a cutie. The next one is called Snowman, I believe, because that is what it's looking like. It's going to look like this. And it is for someone. I'm not going to say it out loud in case she or he didn't read the text. But this is where I am, because this is really hard to stitch, because it is a black plastic canvas and I still don't know how to stitch on plastic canvas. So there we go. I have 8,501 stitches left on this. Next one is Joker from Persona 5. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished. And I am here. This is 7,068 stitches, and I have 2,832 stitches left, and I believe it's like 2-3 colors left because I've done all the confetti stitches. And this is at 71.4% complete. The next one is King of Beasts. It is this one. This is a Rayolis kit. It is 11 count, 3/1. So it's 3 threads over 1 square. And here you go. This is where I am. And this one I have 22,123 stitches left. And the reason why I have how many stitches that are left, even though it is a paper pattern, is because I have put in every single paper pattern into Pattern Keeper, and I have marked off all the completed stitches and also all the blank stitches, which means that the number that I have left is how many stitches that are left. But I can't know how many stitches was the actual stitch number, because I have, like I said, marked off the blank stitches also, and I don't know where to keep that sort of number, so that is why. The next one is Little Tommy Tittlemouse, mini Little Tommy Tittlemouse. This is Scott Gustafson, and there we go. I believe it's like a nursery rhyme. We don't have that nursery rhyme in Swedish, so I don't know it, but I believe this is from a nursery rhyme. And he is stitched 2 over 1 on 18 count. There we go. And this is 843 stitches, and I have 88,532 stitches left. This is 0.9% complete. And I do love this artwork. However, it is kind of grey up in that corner, so I really need to be in the mood and feel like stitching grey, which is usually in the summer, because in the summer it's so green and bright outside that I can actually stitch on some grey tones. When it's winter, I like to stitch on bright, colorful things because it is grey outside. So anyway, this is my oldest work in progress. This is Lodjur or Lyx. It is a kit from Permin of Copenhagen. And I have stitched the owl already. This is 14 count, 2 over 1. And this, I have 9,946 stitches left. I should be able to finish this. It is like 8 tones of grey left, if even that, 5, I don't know, very few grey tones. But it's just not calling to me anymore, and that is what I'm saying. Like, I love almost all of my projects. Almost. One of those I don't like is that one. Itchy nose. Flosstube itchy nose. Next one is Lynx on a Walk. This was the only picture I could find and print out, and it has got 5 stars. Stitched one day on this and got bored. I bought someone's collection of cross stitch kits, and this is one of those I've got. I have 41,892 stitches left on that. The next one is going to be a restart. It is Magic Farm Painting. It is Jan Patrick Kresny. This is what's going to look like when it is finished. And I'm going to restart this because I've stitched this 1 over 1 on 25 count, and I want to stitch it 2 over 1 on 25 count. And this is 717 stitches, and I had 203,863 stitches left, and that is 0.41% complete. But like I'm saying, it is going to be a restart. The next one is called Max Moon. It is a kit from Buzilla. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished. It is 14 count black Ada. This is where I've gotten to. And I have 5,273 stitches left. Words are getting harder as you do this. The next one is Mini Me and Moo. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's Lucy Pittaway. She is no longer with Heaven and Earth Designs. And I have stitched 22,227 stitches, which is this much. And I have 28,398 stitches left, which means that this is 43.9% complete. So, okay. Going to be really cute when it's done. I say when it's done. I hope it will get done. The next one is Mini Meditation by Elizabeth Welker, I believe. Yeah, Elizabeth Welker. And I have stitched 13,898 stitches on this, and I still have 91,727 stitches left, but this is at 13.2% complete, and I am doing this extreme cross country, or rather I'm doing it from the inside out, like the circle, so one color per layer, so to speak. And as you can see, I'm stitching the bright yellow, like this yellow, and I still have some places left for it. There we go. Getting closer to end of page 2. Next one, Mermaid Hunt, Tom Wood. I think she is stunning. Like, she is so powerful in her design. And this is 2/1 on 22 count. Let's see if I can show this in a good way. Probably not. Her face is complete. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And her spear coming in here. Love her. This is 6,105 stitches, and I have 297,645 stitches left. That is 2%. She is not a small piece. She is really large. Anyway, the next one I have is Nefertiti. This is an art kit, and it is on the same printed fabric, even weave, the 28 count, as African Woman, and she is stitched 2/2 and 1/2 on it. So on this I have 33,155 stitches left. Let me bring it in so you can see. There we go. Next one is Ocean Panorama. Okay. It is by Adrian Chesterman, Pain-Free Crafts. It is no longer there, it is retired, sadly. But there we go. And you are going to be blown away by my start. This is 256 stitches. And I have 233,744 stitches left. This is 0.9%. 2/1, 22 count. Next one is Pandemic. It is a long dog sampler. And I'm going to restart this. So mine is going to be an ombre. So it's going to go from dark brown to light brown, round about here. Then it's going to go to light blue, no, dark brown, light blue, dark brown, light brown, light blue, dark blue, dark blue, light blue, dark, light brown, light, dark blue, green. Honestly, yeah, my head is getting fried here. Anyway, it's going to go from dark brown to light blue to dark blue to back to dark brown, basically. I have it on Instagram, how it's going to be. It's going to be an ombre. Anyway, it's going to be a restart anyway. But there you go. the dark brown I was talking about. This is 444 stitches. It doesn't look like that, but it is. This is 32 count, 1/1. I didn't like it, so I'm going to have the same coffee tea dye fabric and cut it so that I can have it 2/2 on that instead, which means that this is no longer valid, but I had 76,821 stitches left, and this was 0.6%, but it's going to be a restart. That is end of page 2. Only one page left. Getting there. Next one, Park Your Elephant. Again, one of my husband's favorites. And because my dog sits like this, like she hangs her butt down, exactly like that when she sits. And this one I have restarted, and then I restarted it, and then I restarted it again. And I am still not happy, but I'm not going to restart it again. But this is 1/1 on 22 count, and it is 1,298 stitches, and I have 201,202 stitches left, and I am 0.6% complete. I am fine. Words are getting harder. Next one, Lord Lebidian, and this is Pokemon Generation 1. This is what's going to look like when it is finished. And I have stitched this much. And this much is 4,109 stitches. I have 111,091 stitches left. This is 3.6% complete. And so I started doing some block stitching, as you can see, and then I went back and tried to fill in. So there we go. And my favorite Pokemon is there. Dratini, as we would say. Next one is Pumpkin Color Autumn. It is an Owl Forest embroidery. Yeah, free pattern from them. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished using their floss. I am not using their floss, I am using CXC floss. And I'm using the DMC conversion. Also on a printed fabric. There we go. This I have 5,051 stitches into, and I have 7,574 stitches remaining, which means that this one is at 40% complete. The next one is Quaker flag, and I didn't like the Swedish flag, so I stitched a Norwegian flag. So this is what it's going to look like. I haven't written what the store was. If you want Vivsters. Sounds familiar. Sounds right when I say it. But here I am. 1/1 on 25 count, 22 count. This is 5,692 stitches. I have 39,863 stitches left, and this is 12.5% complete. Okay, that one. The next one I do not have the picture for. It is a very old pattern, like very, very old. This was in a magazine in Norway, and the lady who wanted the pattern had to actually send a letter to the magazine company saying that she wanted a pattern. So they then sent her the pattern from the magazine, and the magazine have the color code and like the symbol code, but the actual pattern you had to ask for because it didn't arrive with the magazine. So it is a really, really old Norwegian pattern, Familien, I believe it's called, the magazine. If you're interested, I can find the magazine number and perhaps they have it still. I got mine from finn.no and it was a lovely lady who sent it to me. But this is one of the Scandinavian little Santas, because we have like Santa Claus and we have Santa, and this is Santas, like the small Nisse. Like it is not the same as Nissen. They are, in Sweden we call it Tomte, both of them, Tomte or Tomten. And this is like the little guys that help out in your farm, and that's like they help take care of the animals if you are kind to them, and if you are mean to them, they will do things worse for you. They will make like pictures full of the walls, and they will do things that doesn't hurt the animals, but they will do things that will hurt you, kind of. Like they will let the animals on the farm loose if you're not kind to them, but if you're kind to them, they will help. Like they will take care of your animals, they will help heal them, and they will take care of things, and they will, if they see a nail in the wall, they will like make sure no one hurts. Like it is a folklore thing, but yeah, you should be kind to your Nisse, Tomte. Next one, speaking of Nisse and Tomte, Santas. This is Santa's Midnight Ride from a kit from Dimensions. And here we go. It is stitched on 18 count navy Ida, and it is stitched per Dimensions directions, which means that it is half crosses, full crosses, and full crosses with a lot of threads in this case. So, and blends and couching and backstitch, and you know, just regular Dimensions things. Next one is Saga, which is story in Swedish and Norwegian, but it's also a name. But, or perhaps Saga, yeah, Saga is perhaps the same in English. Should be. Star Wars Saga, yeah, sorry. But it is like, yeah, anyway, you know what the saga is. This is my saga. There we go. I finished 3 of these, and mine is going to be an ombre. It's a black frame, and then it's kind of an ombre effect, so it gets darker for every layer going down until you go to the very bottom where it is dark blue in the middle from light blue. Beautiful. This is 1/1 22 count, and I have done 13,169 stitches, and I have 90,794 stitches left, which means that I am 12.7% complete. And Santa's Midnight Ride, I have 24,339 stitches left. The next one is called Secrets. It is Adele Sessler that has the artwork, put down the artwork, but I have cut it, so I think I have like here is, it's cropped here, it's cropped right where his hand is, I think I removed like some from the top and like here, I believe. So I have cropped off around 40% of it because like I don't want to stitch this, or that's not the main thing. The main thing is the guy in the middle, and he looks like Link to me. That's why I stitched him. And this is 28 count, 2 over 1 half cross. And this is, because I've cropped it, I don't know how many stitches I've done, but I can say that I have 148,937 stitches left. I'm going to sneeze. Air your projects, people. Oh, jeez. So, like, they collect dust, and I air my projects. I take them out, I unfold everything, I leave them there for some days, and then I fold them back in and sort them in a system that I want. But it is so important to just let air through the fabric, in my opinion. Some people don't, that's fine. Next one, so much fun. And this is the least fun project that I have. And the reason for that is because this is 6 count, 9 count, potentially 5 count. It is huge. Anyway, huge, massive, absolutely massive. So, this is what I have done. And this is, I have 5,545 stitches left. And that is, there's going to be one more motif here, and then one more over that, and then 3 more on this side. It's huge and very warm to stitch. Very, very warm to stitch. It is a blanket. The next one is Spring in the Valley. This one. And I will also show you Summer in the Valley, I thought. No, this is Summer in the Valley, sorry. Summer in the Valley, and this is Spring in the Valley from the same series that was earlier. And also on the same fabric is Avatar. This one I'm going to restart and frog from that pattern, because from the fabric, because I didn't. So, Avatar, going to frog. Spring in the Valley. Again, you see the color that I color completed on every one of them. Spring in the Valley and Summer in the Valley. Whoop. That is the share creaking. And Spring in the Valley, I have stitched 2,310 stitches on, and Summer in the Valley was 771. I have 18% on Spring completed, which means I have 10,529 stitches left. And on Summer, I have 12,078 stitches left, and I am at 6% complete. Now, Spring Montage is the next one. And this is what it's going to look like when it is finished. And this one I have restarted already, because as you might remember, I said I'm going to restart the autumn montage, and I'm going to restart winter montage as well. But Spring montage is already restarted, 2 over 1 full cross on 22 count. This is 2,359 stitches. I have 145,541 stitches left, which means that this is 1.6% complete. and I like this a lot better than I liked it on 18 count. And again, I have filled in more because the previous version of this I had stitched down to the eggs because it was Easter. I wanted to stitch eggs, and when I went back to it after having used flower stand, it looked really bulky and like the stitches wasn't even stitched. So I'm much happier with it on 22 count and using the frame and everything like that. And the next one is Summer Montage. Again, Steve Jenner, Paint Free Crafts. Beautiful. I absolutely love these, and I might actually switch to stitching on this one, like the spring one, I believe. But this is where I am on Summer Montage. 2/1 full cross, 22 count, and this is 878 stitches, and it is, which means that I have 147,022 stitches left. This is 0.6% complete. And the next one is going to be a restart, because I started this 1/1 on 22 count and I want to stitch it 2/1 instead, so I'm going to frog and redo. This is Dominic Davison Mini Sunset Lighthouse, and as you can see, my frogging is going to take me forever to do. Or not, it's just one stitch, one thread, and this is 53 stitches, which means that I have 75,347 stitches left, and this is 0.1%. But it's going to be a restart. The next one is Super Mario Bros. Alternative poster. This is what it's going to look like. Love this. It is from X Stitch PDF Patterns on Etsy. She has for a lot of movies as well and a lot of games. So if you are interested, I absolutely recommend going and checking it out because it's kind of cool. And this one was a restart on 22 counts, 2/1. There we go. And dog hair. I will honestly be more sad when I don't have dog hair on my project than I am with them being there. So I am completely fine with them to be there. So this color is my least favorite color to stitch with. Some really dislike blank, some really dislike B5200, some hate 310. I dislike 747, which is that blue, because in Pattern Keeper it looks like a beautiful sky blue, a deep beautiful sky blue, like a little bit lighter than these Dröna. But when you stitch that color, when you pick it up, it is that blue, and that blue is almost white, and I get equally disappointed every single time that it isn't a lighter version of that it is white, and that's why I dislike that color. Anyway, that is why I haven't gotten further on that project as well, because it's a lot of that color in the beginning. It is also the color in the sky in Childhood Sweethearts, which is why I haven't stitched more of the sky in that one. So yeah, anyway, that one was 2,590 stitches. I have 104,210 stitches left. This is 2.4% complete. And I, of course, found Super Mario, how it's going to look. So I have finished, right? So I finished that one. I have finished that one, and that one. So I have like these left to go. You know, things show up. It is kind of a lot of things to show in the correct order and remembering when you do these. So not too bad so far. This is Starfish on Sand Beach. It is in the Solo collection. This is what it's going to look like when it is finished. And here is where I am. This is 25 count, 2/1/10 stitch, half cross. And it is 4,454 stitches. I have 73,171 stitches left. This is 5.7% complete. The next one. So I don't know about you, but I have, when you have people come to visit you and they ask like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what's your hobbies? And you say, oh, I cross stitch. And they say, oh, can you show me something? And you said, yeah, sure. And you have that one piece that you are more proud of than any other, and that you are like, this is what I stitch, and not the things that they imagine cross stitching being. Like, a lot of people see like the grandmas or the like one generation before their grandmothers, great grandmothers, and they see them cross stitch and they see like those type of patterns. Nothing wrong with those type of patterns, but that's not the type of pattern that I am cross stitching, or that most people are cross stitching nowadays. So I have one piece that I am very proud of, and it is the Amazing Animal Kingdom by Amy Stewart. And the reason, like, I haven't gotten far on it, and it's nothing like that, but it looks so good, and it gives like, this piece gives a size for people, like how large some projects are. It gives them, because it's 22 count, it also gives them like how small, even though it isn't the smallest one that I've stitched up, it is still smaller than most people are used to, and it also looks really good. So the Amazing Animal Kingdom, I have stitched, so let's see if I can get this in frame. There we go. I have stitched 24,425 stitches. I have 350,000 stitches left. That is 6.5% complete. And there we go. And that an elephant, I kid you not, it's 2 pages. Like, the first page goes kind of here, like so, and the second page goes like there, and then you have the third page, which is like here, and the elephant comes almost 2 pages by itself, but like parrots, and look, there's a frog in there. And also, I haven't noticed it before, but this is a gorilla baby, and I haven't noticed this until I stitched it. So yeah, really happy. Love this, absolutely love this piece. And if I lose my stitch bag, I just pick up that one and I know it will come back. The next one is called Glades of My House. It is a cheap China kit. This isn't the actual name, you won't find it if you use that search, and I won't, because I don't know if this is copyrighted or not, I will not share what the real name is, but it is a printed China kit. And this is how far I've gotten. This is 18 count printed Ida. Okay. My least pride stitch, basically. Next one the buffalo, decollete violet. Really cool piece. And I am here. So I started in the top left corner, got bored, moved on to the buffaloes. This is the first buffalo that you can see like in that corner. This is 1,287 stitches, and I have 238,713 stitches left. This is 0.5% complete. The next one is the little match girl. This is Jasmine Beckett Griffith. This is what she's going to look like. I believe it is inspiration from H.C. Andersen's story. And this is where I am. And this one I have stitched 14,137 stitches, and I have 70,363 stitches left. I am at 16.7% complete. And her eyes look amazing. Look at that eye. Amazing. Okay, the next one is the mini, the universe in a jar. There we go. This is Randall Spangler. There we go. I am in the top left corner, which I hope is the top left corner for you once everything is completed. Might not be, but this is where I am. This is 2/1 full cross on 18 counts, and this is 815 stitches, and I have 70,185 stitches left, and it is 1.1% complete. And all of that is just one quarter. The next one is mini trefoil, Elizabeth Welker again. That is what it's going to look like. And this is 2/1/10 on 28 count. Yeah, 28. And this is where I am. Mostly just 310. And this is 5,980 stitches, and I have 99,645 stitches left, and that is 5.7% complete. The next one is Tutankhamon. Again, a Lanart kit. It is in the same series. It's the same printed 28 counts. And this is where I am on it. And I have 27,819 stitches left of it. And I am going a bit faster now in the end because I don't know how much storage space I have on my phone, and I am also starting to get a bit tired to talk. My throat is starting to feel really, really dry. The next one is Valmoduk, I call it, but it is like poppies. Is that a flower? And I don't have the picture close by, but this is half of it, and it's going to be like poppies over here, like this, only completed, and then same mirrored right on the other side. And I have a lot left on this because I have only on this side I have 3,717 stitches left, but again it's going to be the same on the other side, and I haven't that in Pattern Keeper yet. The next one is Mini What Lies Beneath. I have the full size pattern as well, and I thought mini was good enough but when I got this, it is Decollete Violet, and she is no longer with Heaven and Earth Designs. And when I got her patterns, because I have multiple from her, she was leaving Heaven and Earth Designs, so I got more than a few of the buffaloes from her, this one, and I have the full size as well, and I have Dreaming of Being Human as well, but I haven't started it, and I don't think I ever will start it. I'm looking at the charting and I'm not happy with it. So anyway, this is Mini What Lies Beneath. That's what it's going to look like, and I had really trouble with this when I started it, because this is 2/1 on 18 counts, and I didn't know how to stitch this because it was so much confetti, and in hand it was almost impossible to stitch. But now I have Q-snaps and Larry stands and all that, so now I can stitch it. So I just need to pick it up again. But this is 2,157 stitches, and that means that I have 78,443 stitches left, and at 2.7% complete. So there we go. The next one is without a picture. Really? Well, then I need to print out a picture for this. But this is Window with a View mini. And this is where I have gotten to. I have a picture on Instagram on how this is going to look. It is Dominic Davidson, I believe. There we go. And this is 17,901 stitches, and I have 59,827 stitches left. This is at 23% complete, and this is 2/1 half cross on 25 count. So, as you can see, gotten quite far, really. And like, it is stitched over here as well. Don't know if you can see it. So, getting there, and I know it is gridded, pre-gridded. I had to have the 10x10 and not the 20x20. Great on that one. The next one is Winter Montage, Stevie Jana, pain-free craft. This is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to restart it because it is 2/1 on 18 count, and I want them to be 2/1 on 22 count. And this is 2,545 stitches, and that means that I should have had 148,000 stitches left, and this was 1.7% complete, but it's going to be a restart, and therefore it doesn't matter. Really. The next one is kind of a warning, I guess. This is Yggdrasil, the tree of life in North mythology. And this is Chameleon XS on Etsy. It's done. And the reason why this is a warning is because I had it in a Q-snap. And my Q-snap left these beautiful marks on my actually really good quality fabric. This isn't the fabric, this is the Q-snap, and I have an original Q-snap, and I have, this is Permin 18 count Black Ada, so it's a really expensive fabric. It's really expensive, to be honest, but look at that. So this has to be a restart again, because not because I want to restart it, but because like I can't, it doesn't, yeah. Be careful with your Q-snaps and your fabric, because I have noticed that it's tearing and it isn't that nice. I would rather use a hoop, to be honest, and I mostly use a hoop, like the spring one that you just pull in and it's spring, so yeah, I like those. But didn't know, now I know. This is Yggdrasil. It is 1,143 stitches, it was, and that would have left me with 74,848 stitches left and 1.5% complete. But again, and don't have a picture. This is Yuma, mini Yuma, and it is don't remember. It is the girl with the mask. Really, really popular. Like she has like the watercolor girls. Morals? No, don't know. But it's the mini. Great. 2 over 118 count, 727 stitches, and that means that I had 78,899 stitches left and 0.9%. And we are at the end because this is my last. This is Zelda Twilight Princess from Needle Mind Lay, and I have a picture. This is the picture. Midna and Link and King Boblin. And this is my favorite Zelda game of all time, Twilight Princess. And this is 9,067 stitches, and I have 32,933 stitches left. This is 21.6% complete. And with that, that is a wrap on my whips. Hope you liked it. It was a lot, and like the pile honestly is rather large pile of projects, and I am not working actively on everything all at once. I do have favorites, like the Animal Bookshelf is a favorite of mine, Gardener's Paradise, the Montage series is a favorite of mine. Some of the kits I like. So, you know, I do have a lot, and I don't mind. It is the progress of stitching, the actual just sit down and stitch and just keep your mind off things, that is the thing for me, not the finishing. As you might notice that like this is a finish, and I'm not going to do anything else with it. Same with this. So I'm not a finisher, I am a progress stitcher, that's fine, and I am a swee stitcher, which is stitch what you want when you want. And so yeah, that was my whips, and for the future I hope to come back to you some point. I haven't decided yet if I want to do it every week, every other week, and once a month. I haven't decided. I am kind of a person that got stuck into stitching, so I can stitch a lot on a project in one go, and then I don't want to see that project for quite a while, and then like I rotate around. So I don't know, because I can stitch on the same project for a week, I can stitch on it for 1.5 weeks, which means that I should have only had 2 projects, but at the same time, a month, will I remember? Don't know. So it is kind of up in the air, so I will let you know. But that is all if you were here for the stitching, and I wish you a really, really good day if that was what you came here for. And also, if you liked what you saw, please comment, like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, and for those of you who want to hear a bit more as to why I have been gone 1.5 years, I will give you a small-ish update on it. So the reason for it is because I had to gain a lot of weight. Like, I was so underweight, and I needed to gain a lot of weight because nobody knew how much weight I would lose in my operation, because I have been quite open with that I have a jaw problem, and I have had my operation, which is why my face is kind of pulled to one side, because they had to cut some muscles and they will never grow back. And yeah, and it is also why I struggle with words, because I have had my jaw operation now, and it is kind of, I'm still in recovery. I'm still trying to talk, and this is the most I have talked in a really long time, and I'm feeling that as I said, I had to cut some muscles, which means that other muscles need to be trained to compensate for that, and I haven't really gotten that far yet, so to speak. So I'm getting really tired in my face, to be honest, and really painful, but that's okay. As I said, I am in recovery, and I have gained, I believe it's like 17 kilos, which is a lot, like really a lot. And I am now normally weight, no longer underweight, and I feel, personally, I feel more beautiful and more healthy, and I can, even though my face is still in recovery and my muscles and all that, I can eat easier now. It is still painful. It is still painful to talk. It is still painful to chew, but I no longer live on yogurt and porridge and soup. I can actually eat things. And it has been a really long journey, and it has taken so much energy, and I have been so worried in front of this operation, because it was huge. It was a major operation. It wasn't just a small thing. And I was really nervous, had a lot of anxiety for it. And so also when I was struggling with all of those emotions and all of the things that I needed to do and prepare before this operation, I just felt that Flosstube isn't my priority right now. And after operation, it have taken until now to talk this much, and I still can't talk this much. That's why, like, hard words are so hard when you think about it. So yeah, but I feel more beautiful, I feel more healthy, I can eat easier, and I'm in a much better place right now. All that anxiety has, because the operation is complete, my anxiety has dropped dramatically, and yeah, I'm very much in a better place right now. And that is kind of showing also because before I didn't have any energy to do anything at all, and now I'm trying to be more active. I'm trying to, you know, exercise, walk a bit, trying to do all these things. Still have other diagnoses that makes me unable to do those things that I want to do, but that's something that I am working on right now, to be able to walk, to be able to talk, to be able to exercise. And I do my best, as we all do. But yeah, that is where I am. So I'm in a happy place right now, or at least in a better place than I was in the last video. And yeah, if I go back and look at my previous videos, I can see myself being really scared and sad, and so underweight that, yeah, I feel better now. I am in a better place now. So yeah, but I think that is all again. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you liked what you saw, and please take care of yourself. Please eat correctly. It's so important to be like happy with yourself. So yeah, take care. Bye.